Gentlemen, we are now broadcasting. So there was a technical difficulty. I was commentating, but didn't realise the stream stopped. So, my apologies. Hope I don't even know what's going on nowadays. But Ruben goes quickest then after validating his lap time with a 21.4. So, I was talking away, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter because I wasn't live streaming. So we're back into Q2 as the top 15 drivers. Then went to Q2 as the main target now is to try and get yourself into the top 10. Let me just sort everything out. Sorry, I'm just rushing around, so it's an absolute mess so far. I thought I was live streaming, but something went wrong in the live stream. It didn't tell me it stopped, so my apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen. I will try and be better. I was asleep if you guys want to know. So it looks like the live stream is working. So here are your times then. Ruben's quickest with the 21.4, ahead of Fireblaze in second place. Faze Dennis in P3. Heiken Haas, the championship leader, in P4, ahead of Matthias in P5. Matthias is back, so both RP drivers. I'm not quite sure where the other one is, Zach. But Matthias took a few races off, and now thankfully he's back. So I remember Alpine had a very strong result, as Matthias is currently out there on a flying lap. Here he is, cross the line, as the Mercedes is right behind us as well. It's a long way down towards turn one. I think it's a 1 kilometre straight as Matthias hugs the inside curb, leans on the outside, going towards turn 2 now, just lifts off the throttle. Not even a little bit of a dab on the brake there as he uses the overtake out of turn 3. You've got to be very careful in terms of using the overtake, because I believe, Matthias unfortunately invalidates in turn 5. And that is a massive shame indeed. So currently starting P5 as Kevin goes towards the top. Look at that. Oh my goodness me. Kevin with a 20.7 there. And that is a statement for the rest of the field. The only driver in the 20s. And he's currently 7/10 quicker than Ruben. So Kevin's got some mighty pace. Where did that come from? From the McLaren driver? I have no idea. But he's definitely spicing up here in Qatar. McTimmy, interestingly, is on the medium compound tyres then. So let's see if he could try and get himself into Q3. Is he trying to save a set of soft compound tyres? But Timmy, unfortunately, has invalidated his lap time. So that won't count. What will he do? Will he dive back into the pit lane to put on a set of soft compound tyres? This is the problem around this track, because it's so easy to invalidate around here that you might have to sacrifice another set of soft compound tyres to get yourself inside the top 10. As Melo the Beast goes second place. Here comes Lucas now in the Williams, the man that won the Australian Grand Prix, in second then. So it's a 20.995 as Kick goes quickest now. Behind him, sorry, not quickest, but second place with a 20.8. So both Williams are back up there in second and third. Not really been the last few races there for Kick and Lucas, but hopefully the championship contenders from last season can find their form again. Lucas won the Australian Grand Prix, of course, but ever since then, not really much Williams has done after a few mistakes and contact as well. They finished 6th and 7th, the Williams pair of Lucas and Kick, but no, Kick finished in P15, so it wasn't really a great result for him then, as Kevin has retired knowing he is safe, so there's no need to waste another set of soft compound tyres. We're watching Matthias then, the man coming through turn 6 now, the man that won the first 2 races of the season. Fantastic result from them. He won in I think it was, he hasn't won just yet. He was so close to winning Miami, but he finished in second place. His teammate Zach won that occasion, as Alpine had a very strong start to the season, but Matthias unfortunately has invalidated that lap time then, so it won't count, but he is 4/10 up, but he's still pushing, interestingly. Obviously he can't, well, he's not going to say battery or tyres anymore, because he's low on battery, low on fuel, so I think he's rushing back in the pit lane to put on a set of soft compound tyres. So another set of soft compound tyres will be wasted for Matthias, and he'll be on the back foot. Who will have 2 sets of soft compound tyres heading in towards Q3? Who has to use the most soft compound tyres here to get himself inside the top 10? Then maybe on the back foot, as Stefan showing some great pace once again in the Red Bull with a 21.0 ahead of Eastbound in P5. Ivan as well showing some decent pace in the McLaren. So McLaren looking strong. Both Williamses are looking strong as well. We've got both Ferrari drivers out there on the lap time. They're on the cusp and the brink of elimination of FaZe Dennis and Fireblaze. So let's see what those two could do. Can they get themselves further alongside the top 10 to boost the chances and security to get themselves into Q3 and have a chance of pole? But so far, P9 and P10, and I think they're close together on the track. Yes, they are. So it looks like FaZe Dennis will get a slipstream off the back of Fireblaze. There is 3 minutes and 25 seconds left to go on the clock then, as we watch the two Ferrari boys go round the circuit as Kick has retired from the session then. So he's safe knowing he doesn't have to go for it again. But on the other hand, both Ferraris and Heiken Haas in P11 is also in trouble as well in the RB and Protect job as well. Eric is also in trouble as he hasn't set a lap time just yet. So here comes Fireblaze, here comes the Ferrari of FaZe Dennis. They're currently sat down on the 5th row in P9 and P10, but can do something about it as an Alpine driver is out of the garage. As we make our way towards turn 1, Fireblaze didn't really hook up the apex in turn 1 as he makes his way down towards turn 2 and turn 3, back to the throttle once again then. Use the overtake. I've noticed that some people don't use the overtake on the straight, they use it at turn 2 and turn 3. Maybe that's the best place because it's this track you're on the throttle majority of the time, as it's very easy as well to lose the battery before the lap ends. You'll be very careful how you use the battery, because if you use it too early you won't have enough left at the end either. As we make our way now through this section, very nice super section through here. MotoGP bikes also take this flow. As we make our way now towards turn 8 we go, back to the throttle on the outside. Can be a very difficult corner, especially with the back end of the car stepping out with hot tyres. Fireblaze is currently 2/10 up in this middle sector. His main aim is to boost himself along the order to get himself into Q3 safely as he goes flat out in the triple right-hander we go. Now down towards the left-hander, no signs of lifting off in 7th gear as he makes his way now towards the final corner. Can he keep it nice and tidy? As he can. Around the final corner he goes. Let's see what Fireblaze can do in the Ferrari as he crosses the line now. Fireblaze goes up into P5. Great lap time, but his teammate on the other hand has spun, I think. No, he's run out of fuel. So FaZe Dennis could be out of qualifying because the guys behind him are on a lap time, including this man Matthias in the Alpine then. So let's see what happens going down towards turn 1. But FaZe Dennis is on the back foot. And I have to look over his shoulder because the likes of Heiken Haas, Matthias, Patek Job, Timmy and Eric all currently on an out lap or flying lap. Eric unfortunately has invalidated, but he's still got the time to make something about it, has Eric. But one more shot left for Eric to get himself inside the top 10 around this difficult track. Going to keep it within the confines of the white lines. We're trying to use every single part of the racetrack, utilising every single part, trying to cut as much of the track as you can, use all the track on the outside. But at the same time, it's so difficult as Matthias now swooping through the right-hander, going towards turn 8 we go, using the outside line very nicely there, trying to open up the exit to come back in and get a slingshot. Here we are, Matthias then. In the middle sector, he's currently 8/10 up, so Matthias is on an absolute flyer as the RP driver almost invalidated there, but kept it within the white lines. As we make our way now towards the left-hander we go, into 6th gear, flat out corner. Unbelievable how this game considers it flat out. As we make our way now towards the final corner, downshifted to P5. The car a bit reluctant to turn, it went a bit wide at the final corner, but here comes Matthias as he goes into 2nd place as FaZe Dennis has been pushed out of qualifying. Nothing he can do about it, of course. Ruben unfortunately has invalidated. Qualifying is over. Heiken Haas, Patek Job, Timmy and Eric all currently on a flying lap as we watch the Aston Martin of Eric going through the first sector. Patek Job is down. He has been knocked out of qualifying. Heiken Haas is in this triple right-hander now. Flat out corners. The RB driver goes. The championship leader currently down to P12. Let's see, can he try and boost his order? The RB driver now makes his way towards the final corner. Timmy goes into P6. Here comes the RB driver of Heiken Haas as he makes his way towards the line. Let's see what happens. And it's pole. It's provisional pole with a 20.7. As always, Heiken Haas is very good at pulling the lap time out at the very last second. Ruben, who was challenging for the lead of the Grand Prix, the Chinese Grand Prix, unfortunately, is down in P12. That's a shame for Ruben there, as he's been outside qualifying. Last week's race winner is here. Let's see what he does. P5 as he pushes Ivan out, and unfortunately Ivan will have to go on the sidelines. Melody the Beast is not on a flying lap, neither is Ruben. He's invalidated. So The 5 people that have been eliminated in this qualifying session is Ivan, Man of the Beast, Ruben, FaZe Dennis, and Patat Job. But 3 people have set a 20.7, and we're about to find out what will happen for this pole shootout. Interesting qualifying 2 session. We've seen plenty of people invalidate. We've seen people having to use more than one set of soft compound tyres, so it might put them on the back foot going towards Q3, having only 1 set left. And we'll see who could deliver the pole on the final flying laps in qualifying 3. Maybe some people have to do 1 lap on a set of old compound tyres and maybe have that 1 set left into Q3 to do that pole. That's it for now, but join us back into Q3, take a short break before Q3 starts. To reiterate the championship standards for you guys, as it is quiet so far, but we are seeing some few people on the track then. So let's see what the championship standings are like here. So it's Eastbound who's currently leading with 87 points. Fireblaze is P2. His consistency has been amazing so far. Despite not winning a race just yet this season, he's ahead of people that won a race, and that's what consistency gets you. It's a P2, 20 points behind Eastbound. Lucas P3 with 65 points, 2 points behind Fireblaze. Haas is currently P4 with 51 points. Kick in P5 is 47 points, as I'm trying to look for a driver on board. Let's go on board with Matthias then, as the man that finished second at the Imola Grand Prix. Both RP drivers worked well together, and they were quite quick as well at the Australian Grand Prix. Matthias has been absent for a little bit, but he is back. Mike is P6 with 43 points. Obviously he's not here tonight, with Ruben in 7th place with 42 points. Eric 8th with 41 points, the man that won the Monza Grand Prix last week. Boosted himself up 5 places, put himself inside the top 10 and 8. Zach is P9 with 31 points. Matthias is P11. F1 Shorts, the man that won the Belgian Grand Prix, is 10th. Matthias is 11th with 27 points. Finn, 12th with 26. Stefan, 13th. Ivan, 14th. Ward, 15th. TVH, 16th ahead of Ruben. Daniel, Octavia, and Reiki. That's the top 20. Obviously, I'm not going to read every single name out, but the top 20 is what I read out. Here we are on board with Matthias, and he's still searching for his first win of the season as he dives down towards turn 1. And let's go on board with him to see how he does as he goes very wide. And unfortunately, it validates our lap time. His lap time has been ruined by going out too wide at turn number 1, as you want to just try and use all the track on the outside. Sweepers do carry the speed, but unfortunately, that's carried too much speed and therefore led to his invalidation. So he'll have to back off, try and go for it again. Maybe he's on an old set of soft compound tyres. Maybe he doesn't have 2 sets of softs in his disposal. So let's see who else is on a flying lap and we can go on board with, as Haas has started and opened up his flying lap. Let's go on board with, I think we're going to stay with Bob with Eastbound. This is the championship leader in the Haas then, as he swoops through this right hand. Here we go, coming towards turn 8 now, using all the track on the outside, swooping through. The car looks very nice indeed to turn in. Looking very stable indeed as he makes his way now towards the end of this little set. So it's going to be a 56.8 there as he chucks the car in flat out in 7th gear. You don't have to lift off at all, maybe in the race with heavy fuel, but in this corner, flat out majority of from turn 13 to turn 16. Here he is towards the final corner, using the track on the outside, turning the car in, as he didn't really hook up the apex in the final corner. Here comes Eastbrand towards the line, and pole is a 20.8. I presume that is I dare say, an old set of soft compound tyres. We're seeing times of 20.3. Maybe a new or used, we're quite sure. But if that's a used tyre, then that's a decent lap time there for Eastbrand, as we have the first lap time on the board. Then Eric's going through turn 1 right now, with the Aston Martin in the way. We've got Eric, who's currently on an out lap, as Timmy is going down towards turn 6, as he sets a 30.5. He struggles to get himself inside the top 10, but managed to do so at the very end, just like Haas, as Eastbrand and Haas are close together, 20.8, as those two are very, very competitive, and it's very interesting to watch those two as well, because they've always shown some fantastic driving and paces. Kevin goes quickest with a 20.5, and good evening, Milan, are you here?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me, by the way?
I can hear you.
Great, alright. Sorry that I'm late again. I have never eaten as quickly as I just have, but I am in time for the race and in the final part of qualifying. But anything interesting happened throughout Q1, Q2? Any spectacular drivers going out?
Well, I don't know who's out of Q1 because I wasn't here for it. I joined in Q2, so if you want to know where I was, guys, I was asleep. I woke up so confused. I looked at the time, it says 18 past 6. I was like, shit, I'm supposed to be commentating. So I rushed here as quickly as I could, trying to set up the stream. The stream failed once because it said the stream was planned, not live streaming. I don't know why it does that, by the way. It's so annoying when it says the stream is planned and not actually live streaming, but I'm going to sort that out. But luckily, for the second time, we are live streaming. Me and Milan are back after our absences at the Monza Grand Prix, but hopefully that's our first absence, as we'll be here with you for the rest of the season. My job as a commentator is to be here to live stream the races and give you the entertainment you all need and deserve as well. We've got Lucas now sweeping through as we make our way towards the final corner. The man that won the Australian Grand Prix for the first race of the season. Here he is then, with the DRS wide open further down the straight. Let's see whether Williams driver can put himself at 20.8 as he puts himself into P5. Kevin has been looking really strong so far ever since he set that incredible lap time in Q2. Once again, showing some amazing pace here. And for those people, this benefits those people who have two sets of soft compound tyres, because I know a lot of people in Q1 and Q2 really struggled to get themselves in, and they managed to get themselves in to Q3 at the very last second. So maybe a lot of people have used more than one set of soft compound tyres, therefore only got one and have that one lap to do so. Maybe some people are on used tyres at this stage, but later on we'll see the lap times tumbling down and we'll see the real fight for pole.
Indeed, we've got 5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. 3 drivers still without a lap time, I presume due to track limits, which are very easy to get around here. And Qatar, I must say, is quite a good qualifying track. Such high speeds during qualifying. You have only got like one real hard braking zone. The rest are a little bit of a brake or lifting, or some even flat out, and especially in the final part of the lap. But we've got 5 minutes remaining, and at 20.5, that's quite a good lap time from Kevin in the McLaren. He's got 2/10 ahead of Kick. Then it's Eastbrand at P3, who was usually near the front of the field, but currently he's 3/10 behind. So might be struggling a bit to find some time. Lucas is the only one out on track right now. He is on an out lap, and that's a bit of out of sync for him to go out this early. He's got 4 minutes remaining, so he might run a higher fuel plan, although the light is flashing, so I think he might be going to the pit lane. Actually, yeah, he is. So 4 minutes remain. Everyone will be in pit lane. Eric, I think, was the winner of Monza. He finds himself at the moment in P9 without a lap time. Let's see what he can do, as well as Timmy and Stefan, currently without a lap time. But Kevin, quickest by 2/10. Will he be able to hold on to that pole? Let's find out in a few moments' time.
Yeah, Eric, who struggled to get himself into Q3, had to do it at the very last second after a validation on the last few attempts in Q2, and now he's currently at P9. So those people who haven't really got representative lap times could explain they've only got one brand new set of soft compound tyres, had to do one lap with a banker, and we're about to find out. Those people in real life, you usually see that the likes of, let's say, the LP drivers, the Hasses who get themselves Q3, and they only have one set of soft compound tyres. They don't go out early, they come out very late and join the rest of the field. But that's what happens in full qualifying. You've got to be very, very careful as well because it's so easy to use all your set of soft compound tyres up and ruin your chances of potentially taking pole. It's the pressure, the high pressure situations, and who can adapt to these situations very well and only use about one set of soft compound tyres each qualifying run as well. But it's easier said than done. I myself have never been good at full qualifying because I had to use more than a few sets of soft compound tyres to get myself into Q3, and having to do that, I've only had one chance. I'm not really a good qualifier myself. I do struggle, and having only one set of soft compound tyres into Q3, if I do make it in, is even more pressure because you know you got to deliver with the only one lap only. If you don't, you'll find yourself in P10. So Eastbound then has came out relatively early, maybe because if you come out earlier and you validate your lap time, if you've got the fuel to do so, you've got one more lap. That's my tactic. I like to go out there earlier in comparison to other people so I can have the extra time. If I do invalidate my first lap, I've got the fuel to do so, save the battery, save the tyres, and go for it again on the second lap. So, Eastbound, Kevin and Eric are currently on their laps, and we'll see. Can Eastbound take all away? We know it's not really been a great qualifying, has Eastbrander. Sorry, great qualifier has Eastbound. And if you notice, my lad, Eastbound and Heiken Haas have set the exact same lap time.
Yeah, indeed, that's some incredible stuff. And Luke's is very close behind as well. 20.860. Sadly, it's not for pole position, like we saw back in the day, what's 97, the season finale, where the top three set the exact same lap time. But it's for P3 right now. Eastbrand, though, he is gonna be starting his flying lap. We're right on board with the Haas.
On board with Eastbound, and as he makes his way down the 1 kilometre straight in 8th gear, as we make our way down towards turn 1, place his car off the track essentially as he makes his way through turn 1, clipping the apex very nicely, going through turn 2 right now, using all the curb on the outside, flicking the car in, taking the curves very nicely, going through turn 3 and turn 4, now coming towards the right hand at turn 5, flicking in just after the 50 metre ball, carrying the speed through 6th gear, very careful, especially on the turn on the exit as well, not invalidate, but Eastbound carrying the speed very nicely as well, no signs of the car hesitating, the back end of the car looks like it's very stable so far as we make our way down towards turn 7 into 4th gear. A lot of cranking the steering through as the back end of the car looks like it was complaining just a bit as he demanded to get on the throttle as quickly as he could at turn 6. Going through turn 8 right now into 4th gear. As you can see, the back end of the car also complaining, but that's normal, of course, as Eastbound coming towards the end of the middle sector. He's currently a 10th up. I thought this would be more than a 10th up because it looks like a very very good lap so far as he makes his way towards the triple hander in 7th gear. Now coming towards the left-hander we go. No signs of lifting off. He was flat out from like turn 13 all the way down to 16. Coming towards the final corner now, which can be very difficult because the tyres will be very hot at that stage. Here we are with the DRS wide open. Eastbound comes across the line, and it's not pole, but he did improve in the final sector, and he puts himself into P2 at a 20.6 then. So, Eastbound second place front row, and let's see if that'll stick. Kick is currently on a flying lap. Kevin is on a flying lap, but unfortunately Kevin has invalidated there, so no improvement there for the McLaren driver, and it's down to the rest to see if they can take pole away from the McLaren driver.
Eric is also invalidated, but he can do another lap, although he does only have 80% ERS, but he is going to be able to that time. Kevin, unfortunately, is not going to be able to go in to do another lap. He is going in. His qualifying is over, though he's still on professional pole position by 2/10 over Kick, because Eastbound has already finished his lap. But Eric has now started his flying lap. The flag has fallen. These are the final laps. Kick at the moment is navigating his way through the middle sector. So is Geitekaas. He is coming up into the final sector. He's up by 1.5 tenths of a second. That's not going to be enough to get himself almost to pole position, but he might just be able to get himself onto the front row if he absolutely nails that final sector. McTimmy, he crosses the line. His only lap time is going to be P6. Behind him will be Fireblaze as Matisse to the front row, 9 thousandths of a second. What a lap. Misses out on pole. Fireblaze, only P8. What can the rest of them do?
Here comes Kick around the final corner. Haken Haas into P3. Here comes Kick. Can he take pole? He crossed the line, and he can! Kick is on pole, and he's back. Our champion from last season with a 20.4, and Williams is back in the front row. Let's see elsewhere. Lucas goes or stays into P6. Did improve, but not his position then. As Kick returns to the front of the field. Nice to see him back as well. I don't think he's picked up a win yet this season either. Has Kick. His teammate has Lucas, and that was back at the Australian Grand Prix. But in the sprint race, I think that's when Kick finished in second place. So yeah, Kick hasn't won a Grand Prix yet this season. Interestingly, from our champion last season. But he's back in the front this time here in Qatar. He'll start up pole ahead of Kevin, and I predicted Kevin to take pole, but so far it's Kick as Matthias is P3. Great qualifying for Matthias in P3 after making his return back after a few absences. Last time we saw him was quite a long time ago, back in the Miami Grand Prix, and we noticed that both RP drivers, Zach and Matthias, who had a really great start, did not appear in the last few races, but the RP driver is back and they need it as well. So it is Kick on pole ahead of Kevin Zundberg. Matthias in P3 ahead of Heike Haas. Eastband, the championship leader in P5 ahead of Eric, last week's race winner. Lucas 7th place ahead of Timmy. Stefan, who almost picked up a podium at the Belgian Grand Prix, is P9, and Fireblaze is currently in P10. The man who is second in the championship and scored a decent amount of podiums as well. He scored a podium back at the Monza Grand Prix, but still hasn't picked up a win just yet this season, so he's still searching for that. But starting in 10th place will be difficult. As you can see, majority of the top 10 are Dutchies.
Indeed they are, but that's not something unusual in SDN, but do want to point out it's very close indeed. Fireblaze P10, less than half a second off, but in the front end it was also incredibly close. Kevin's, if only he could have finished his lap without invalidating it, who knows what he could have done, and potentially could have pole position, but he's on the front row still, which is as much chance of a race win, because we know Qatar is kind of famous for its DRS trains, where you can follow other cars throughout the entire race. The strategy then, I predict it to be medium hards or hard mediums, so we'll find out in a second. But yeah, long race ahead of us, runoff quite far, so hitting the wall will be quite hard, so I don't expect any safety cars around here actually, so it could be just a run to the end of the race, but you never know, anything can happen. What I do see is that Kevin and Kick at the moment have selected the hards.
And I'm surprised you know that because I can't see anything. So yeah, well spotted there, Milan. So the hardcore pad tyres is the most durable tyre, of course, and it's the most favoured tyre because they're so durable. Even when they get old, they don't suffer as much as mini compound tyres. The mediums, when they get older, they tend to shred to pieces. As it's very difficult to keep the car under control. You slide around a lot as well, lock up a lot, and it's just so difficult to control the mini compound tyres. Whereas the hardcore pad tyres, very durable indeed. No formation up, of course, so we can't really talk about anything. As here comes the lights then, 4, 5 lights. As we watch the drivers then, away they go for round 7 here in Qatar as Kick gets a mega launch as Kevin is under massive pressure from Matthias behind as we go wheel to wheel down towards turn 1. Matthias carrying more speed but goes wide as there's contact between those two. As look at Eastbound, almost lost back in the car. There's more contact between Kevin and Matthias then as Kick has pulled away. Will he put the DRS gap? These two are fighting so hard, but Matthias bats off and Kevin's up into P2. Eastbound almost lost the car. He's demoted down into P7. There's a few cars wandering away from the circuit off the track as Ruben, last week's race winner, as here comes FaZe Dennis up the inside in towards turn 6 as Fireblaze has dropped into last place ahead to start there for the Ferrari driver, and here comes Dennis back down the inside as there's contact, but Ruben stays ahead. Ruben won the Chinese Grand Prix because I think Eastbound had a post-race penalty for whatever reason as we swooped through, but so far a clean start. Other people slightly going off the track, and Fireblaze unfortunately down to P19 after contact with somebody else as Daniela gets ahead of Patat Job. Up to P16 goes the Haasman. It's a bit difficult qualifying, it must be said, for Daniela after being a competitor in the last few races, as Patat Job already playing with the track limits on lap 1, and he may have picked himself up a track limit violation, but so far in the lead is Kick ahead of Kevin and Matthias, and Haas is right behind in P4 as well. Let's see the tyre strategies around here. It is majority on hards and a few on mediums then, so people go from hards to mediums in this race as we head down towards turn 1 with Kick leading ahead of Kevin, Matthias in P3. But I think Matthias and Kevin did a wise thing to do, not to battle so hard as Matthias let him go, knowing that DRS is king around here, as Danny gets ahead of Ruben, puts himself, no they're not, but they're still side by side at turn 3. But Danny has the outside line. Can he swoop around the outside to stay ahead? He might do, but Ruben is still there. But they've broken the DRS already, have those two. And we head down towards turn 6 then, with Danny having the inside line. And he makes the move stick. And now here comes the Ferrari of FaZe Dennis. Very optimistic move. And he spins. And he's in the gravel and the wall too as he resets the track. And unfortunately, FaZe Dennis has rejoined the PAT. What a dreadful start for Ferrari.
Indeed, they were fighting it out on lap 2. That's the last thing they needed, because now the entire top 9 has run away and Danny in P10 he's dropped out of the DRS. But a great start at the front from Kick. He's done exactly what he needed to do. He maintained the lead. He will lead this DRS train that does cover the entire top 9, and it will be a DRS train in this race. As Matthijs already on lap 2 with a 3-second time penalty. Oh, that's very early to get a penalty already. That will certainly ruin his race come the end of the race, but he will use the DRS. He's not got a lot of DRS in the battery. He's Geitenkaart with the fast lap. Here comes Kevin. He is going to go for the race lead. Gets past Kick. Matthijs also having a look around the outside. Kick dropping down a bit, down to P3. But it's all a tactical game around here at Qatar in the DRS games. And Geitenkaart also having a little look. But Kevin's now is our new race leader in the McLaren.
Yeah, DRS is so powerful around here as well. Very, very powerful. And we'll see a lot of people chopping and changing the bit as Matthias is still playing with the track limits there at the exit of turn 5. So he's picking up their warnings and having a penalty already on lap 2 in this Grand Prix will definitely have a mental effect on this bar, because if you pick up penalties, you'll start to lose your focus and concentration as well. You tend to go out more wide. That's the natural thing of a driver making mistakes as well, because some people take it cautiously when they have no warnings. They try and take it very cautiously, not try and abuse the track limits, because when you're in the DRS trait, you don't really have to push that hard. You just need to stay in the DRS and try and get the DRS to back of somebody. But of course, Matthias, who's already got a 3-second penalty, will start to probably make more mistakes, because you don't really care when you already pick up penalties. So you might see more penalties coming his way already as we swoop through this left-hander we go. So this is Kevin leading the Grand Prix ahead of Matthias in P2. Kick in P3 got the motor down after being overtaken, double overtaken by Matthias and Kevin. But here we are on the straight again. Kevin sets fast up the Grand Prix, but Matthias, let's see what he does going down towards turn 1. He's thinking about it. Here comes Haas now. Down the inside in towards turn 1. Will he take 2 for 1? As he's side by side, but he hooks the inside curb. And Kick is able to get around the outside and gets it back down towards turn 3 on the inside. So Haas, I thought he was going for a double overtake there, but got put in a situation where he had to back off. And here comes Eric then when he did try and send a move. No, he doesn't. The Aston Martin driver stays behind as well in a P5. It's a big DRS train as you expect around here as we go down towards turn 6. Turn 6 is another opportunity to overtake, but you can be very careful as well, because it's so easy to spin out, as we've seen from FaZe Dennis, who is down in last place. So protect job, and FaZe Dennis have pitted as Matthias goes a bit wide on the entry towards turn 6 and turn 7 there. But we'll see a lot of chopping and changing for leading the Grand Prix. But Matthias, wise thing to do, because now he used a lot of battery on the last lap to get past Kick, and he's trying to regenerate that battery as well later on in the Grand Prix to defend himself against Kick.
Indeed, and Kevin, he's got absolutely almost a full battery. I was surprised to see Geitenkaart not getting a position with that move into turn 1. He didn't fully commit to the move, and in the end had to back out, stay behind Kick. Kick is very close to the back of Matthijs, but goes wide through turn 15, and that has cost him a little bit of straight line speed as he's trying to avoid a track limit warning. Now he's got Geitenkaart all over the back of him in the slipstream, and Geitenkaart can potentially go for the move. Matthijs once again closing the gap to Kevin, but not choosing not to overtake. Here comes Kick with the straight line speed advantage, but he is going to stay behind. They're all playing it tactically in the DRS train. You don't want to fight too much. Ooh, Erik there with a massive moment coming out of turn 1, almost spinning the car, losing the back end. He only loses out only 1 position to Lucas, fortunately, and does stay ahead of Isbrand, who hasn't had the best of opening phases, must be said, in this race. Currently in P7. but he is still in this leading train. That's the most important thing, as Eric now sends one up the inside of Lucas, but the tighter line means that the Williams will have the exit speed advantage, and he stays in front of the Aston Martin, who almost just spun himself out of the race, but he's currently sat in P6, while Kevin's at the front, still maintaining his lead, not using too much ERS, and is able to stay in front of the Alpine and kick in P3.
I'm surprised. In fact, I'm not surprised that Eric tries to go down inside turn 6, because when you're stuck in the DRS train, when you're in the middle of it, you're trying to push yourself forwards in every single possible way to get yourself along the field and try to overtake. It's so frustrating being stuck in the DRS, and you try and seize every single opportunity you can, try and get past somebody. Now, we're making our way towards the final corner. As you can see, Eric is quite low on the ERS, so he hasn't really been saving, but behind him, Eastbrand has, and he's got a lot of ERS too. Use and despair. Here we are then as we make our way down towards turn 1 we go, as Matthias stays in P2, all regenerating their battery as we head down towards turn 1. But Timmy is ahead of Ruben, gets himself up into P11 ahead of the Red Bull driver, but they're broken the DRS, and it is so difficult to get yourself back in DRS range once that DRS has been split. So it's going to be a long race for those guys at the back of the field. I've been hoping for a safety car or something chaotic as well. Sometimes you can get yourself back in the DRS train, because when these guys are so bunched up, they tend to slow each other down as we head down towards turn 6. Look at this massive train from P1 all the way down to P10. The top 10 is in the DRS train, and the other half of the top 10 is fighting amongst themselves, with Timmy in P11 being the leader of the second DRS train down there in P11. Faze Dennis has picked himself up a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits. What has he done at the final corner? It must be cut to the corner at the last. I'm not quite sure how he did that.
That's one strange penalty. He either cut too much in the final corner, I'm not sure if you can even do that with the pit wall, or he just ran wide for too long and cut himself a 10-second penalty. But his race has been pretty miserable so far. He started on mediums, then he spun out, got front wing damage, and he pitted, and now he's picked up a 10-second time penalty. So the only thing that can save him from this race is a safety car, which isn't very likely around here with the track being so wide. You know, at the front end, Matthias once again closing but not going for the gap. Same for Kick. It's going to be all about the final lap and who you want to be behind. You don't want to be leading going into the final lap with that DRS straight. So it is going to be a very, very tactical race. And with the pit stops as well, if you drop out of the DRS range due to a pit stop, if you try to go for an overcut, you will be dropping out of the DRS, which means it will be harder to catch back up. At the moment, they're still staying with each other on lap 7. They're all on the hard compound tires. That's Eric once again having a look up the inside of Lucas. Fighting is the last thing you want to do in these opening stages, and potentially losing the DRS to the cars in front. You just need to stay in the leading group as long as possible, which currently covers the entire top 10.
I know how frustrating it is to be stuck in the DRS train, and I got asked a question as Danny gets the 3-second penalty. I got asked a question by somebody, how annoying is it to stick in the DRS train? It was the Japanese Grand Prix, and I was stuck in the same place for the whole lap, and I didn't overtake anybody, nobody overtook me, and it was just so frustrating to be stuck behind somebody, looking at somebody's rear wing as the band gets a 3-second penalty as well. The penalties are starting to kick in, as we'll see. Who will pick up the least penalties at the end of the Grand Prix? That'll be also King as well. Here we are on the main straight. Here comes Kick now, and he forced Matthias going to first place, trying to force him to overtake Kevin. And here comes Kick as well. And here comes Hakenas, but he backs off. We go down towards Tier 1. The Williams and McLaren are side by side, but obviously McLaren has the outside line, so swoops through and has carried better speed as well. Puts himself into P2. Sometimes when you're third place, you're the one that could sometimes control this race, because you're forced in essentially second place to overtake first. Put them into uncomfortable territory, make them lead the Grand Prix, and try and force yourself to overtake as well. Indigo, watch it again. You don't sound sick anymore. Yep, I don't sound sick anymore. I know I coughed a lot. I know I not screamed, but lost my voice, and thankfully I am better. So thank you, Tobias. I appreciate that, mate. As we make our way now towards turn 6 and turn 7 then. So Matthias is leading with a 3-second penalty, Kevin in P2. But like you said, Milan, this is going to come down towards the last lap to see who's first in that DRS. And we'll see, do they have the overtake? Do they have the overtake to counteract or counter-attack, sorry, the DRS as well. Sometimes that works. We have the battery to counter-attack the DRS from somebody behind. As we swoop it through this fast right-hander, we go to triple right-hander, which is so easy to pick up a 3-second time penalty as well. Another danger place to get a 3-second time penalty. We're making our way now towards the final corner we go. As now we'll see what happens on this main straight. Will Kevin stay behind? Kevin will not overtake Matthias unless, of course, Kick forces him to do so. Kick uses the battery right now to see if you can try and force Kevin, but he may not have to, as here we are, down towards turn 1, as Kevin retains the lead of the Grand Prix. Here comes Haas, 2 by 2, going down towards turn 1, the side by side, as it's almost close to contact, going down in towards turn 3 and turn 4. They're so close as Kick stays ahead of Haas, as we can see that Matthias and Kevin still scrapping away as we go towards turn 6, but Matthias lets him go as both of them go off the track at turn 4 and turn 5, as Matthias has probably picked up 2 more warnings because I've seen him go off the track twice. Eric, once again, forces the move down the inside of Lucas. Does it make it stick? Not yet, because Lucas is still there. Outbreaks him going towards turn 7 and stays ahead of Eric as well.
These cars, they're just fighting so much in these opening stages. I mean, lap 9, but still, they will be losing so much time fighting like this, putting themselves at risk of getting a warning, potentially going wide. But yeah, they're still fighting it out. Kevin, at the moment, is in P1 ahead of Matisse. We've still got 20 laps remaining. All the fighting you do now will absolutely not matter to the end result as it stands, because the entire top 10 still within DRS range, very, very close of each other. Only 3 tenths separating each car. Kevin will be the leading car onto the start-finish straight once again, but I can imagine that Matisse will be having a look again as Daniele picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. Very easy to do so. Matisse with the help of DRS and ERS pulls alongside, and he is going to retake the lead of this race. On lap 10, the Alpine is back in front of the McLaren, though, with a 3-second time penalty, which will at the moment probably drop all the way down to P10, as Danny once again with a 3-second time penalty. So Danny and Van, 2 cars in the leading group as well with a penalty. Not ideal, especially now with a 6-second time penalty. That will surely not get him a good result in this race. 19 or 20 laps to go. It's a long way to go, and we're still quite far off the pit window, I believe. As Ruben with a penalty as well. They're starting coming in now, the penalties.
Yeah, but lap 10 out of 29, and whoever can get the least penalties might find themselves potentially winning the Grand Prix or on the podium, or find themselves in a very good spot as well. So shout out to Fireblaze as Lucas goes off the track at turn number 10, I believe it is. Got Eric right behind him, but Eric's too wise to go for a move, especially triple right-handed. This, do you know the triple right-hander as well? When you make a pit stop and you rejoin behind somebody, it is so frustrating being stuck behind somebody in the wrong place, especially towards the triple hander, because you can't go side by side. There's an RB who's spun as Patat Job, who's gone for a spin at turn 6, as Danny's ahead of Stefan in the final corner. So that's very strange. Not quite sure what happened between those two there. But here comes Kevin now, back on Matthias, and here comes Kick, looking to go for an overtake in P2, as he puts himself now into second place, as Matthias has been demoted twice, relegated down to P3, as Danny is still close on the back of Stefan, going down towards turn 2 and turn 3, but looks like Stefan stays ahead of Danny. Danny looks like he's struggling so much with the rear end of the car. The top 10 is still in the DRS train. Very intense fights in the D, but I feel so sorry for the guys further down in this DRS train, because they're watching the guys change at the front, and they really can't do anything about it, as Eric is trying multiple times to get past Lucas, but Lucas has overtaken him as he stays in P5 as the one-year driver. So these guys are not thinking about a pit stop just yet. That's a long way away, as Patat Job unfortunately has retired in the pit lane, so that's the end of his race. But yeah, like I said, shout out to Fireblaze. He's up into P11 now after being last on the first lap into P11, but it'll be very difficult to catch the top 10, especially in a big DRS train. If you want to catch the DRS train, something dramatic has got to happen with these guys scrapping so hard, going wheel to wheel. But obviously they're too wise to it as they follow each other in that DRS train. Here we are towards the fast left-hander we go, with the top 4 so close. Under a second separates these guys as well, as we make our way now towards the final corner we go, as Matthias snaps, has a massive snap, and here comes Haas. He might take advantage of Matthias, he will. Here comes Kick on Kevin, the two go wheel to wheel, as Matthias uses the battery to stay ahead of Haas, as he puts himself, stays into P3, as Kick now takes the lead, but Kevin is still fighting back as he backs off. As we can see Lucas now on the back of the RB, and who's that? That's the RB driver. Up at that job, getting in the way as Matthias is right behind Kevin, pushed him to the corner, but stays behind him for the time being. Almost chaos happened there with the RB coming out the pit lane and retiring.
Yeah, that was very close indeed, but Kik now our new race leader, and I just checked the race director for warnings. Kik is the only one right now in the top 6 who has got no track limit warning so far. Kevin, he has got 1, Geitenkaas, he's got 2, same as Lucas and Eric. They are on range of getting themselves a penalty, but Kik, our race leader, he is doing a very good job of keeping his Williams within the white lines, which is all you need to do around Qatar, to be honest, as it's quite easy to get yourself a penalty. But he now leads ahead of Kevin and Mathies, who has a bit of a moment, it's a bit of laggy, I think, on board with the Alpine. Looks like he almost went off track there. He's in P3 ahead of Geitenkaas, still very close in contention as we near the start of lap 13. 12 laps have already passed. We've seen quite a lot of lead changes, quite a lot of battles already in the front of the field. Kik has now built a little bit of a gap towards Kevin, but he will have the DRS, and he is using some ERS as well to close the gap. And he's going to go for race lead again. He is. Kevin to the inside, and he is going to retake the lead. Gets past Kik, and the McLaren driver is back into the lead of this race.
Chopping and changing every single lap time as but Timmy has overtaken Fireplace. As you can see, they're constantly losing time towards the top 10. There is no way these guys are going to get themselves back, and that's what happens, especially in the first few laps, as we can see that Kik is right behind Kevin. As Matthias picks himself up another 3-second time penalty, as we see the Aston Martin down the inside. It's a late move as we're going down towards turn 6. Eric, can he get past Lucas? The side by side heading down towards turn 7, but Lucas defends once again in the same place as he outbreaks him, and there's no way that Eric can get past there. So Lucas, keep an eye on Eric because he's making lunges in towards turn 6, but Lucas somehow counters it and stays ahead. As Tobias says, Milan and Indigo, are you going to do something in this vacation? What do you mean? I don't know what he means there. But
in the Netherlands, it's holiday next week, as Eric gets a 3-second time penalty, so probably that's what he means. But me personally, I have nothing planned. I don't know if you have anything planned, and next week probably is work or something.
Me and you could go on vacation this summer if you want.
In summer, yeah, indeed.
There comes Kik down the back of Kevin as we go on the main straight once again. So Kik re-overtakes down in towards turn 1 we go, as he puts himself back in the lead of the Grand Prix, but Kevin's still around the outside, not giving this up as he goes very wide out of turn 1. Matthias might fancy a chance as he his contact. Oh, it's so close now as Geitenkaas almost got past Matthias. I've noticed that the RP driver has been really struggling with the back end of the car as he's been trying to save the car in the high-speed corners, but still keeps it on the track as he's picked up a 6-second time penalty as well, as he might be struggling just a bit with tyre wear at this stage of the Grand Prix. We are halfway in towards this Grand Prix. Eric again on Lucas. Oh, there's contact in the background. It's a Sauber and Red Bull, but once again Lucas. Oh, there's contact with Eric, who tries to go on the outside, tagged the front left tyre as Eastbrand now puts himself ahead of Eric. Eric's tried that move about 4 or 5 times in towards turn 6, and every single attempt has been unsuccessful, unfortunately, as he's lost the place towards Eastbrand as well. And Eastbrand has been quite quiet in P6, just following the DRS trend, of course, as he's waiting and picking his right moments. That's what Eastbrand usually does. He's waiting for the right opportunities, as Stefan picks himself up a 3-second time penalty as he's ghosted inside the van. And Tobias says that vacation starts for him today. Well, wherever you're going on vacation, mate, good luck. As off the track goes Eastbrand, in the pit lane comes Geitenkaas then. So he's pitted quite early, go for the undercut.
Yeah, it's quite early to go in, just halfway into the race as Kevin once again takes the lead of this race. As Ruben, with a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, that's not ideal. That is going to ruin his race because he can't serve his penalty in this pit stop, so he will be added to his time at the end of this race, which will surely put him all the way down the order. Fireblaze as well has come into the pit lane. He has nothing to lose. He was in that second group of cars leading the group. He was P20 at the beginning of this race, and he fought his way back up, but it's so difficult to close the gap when the cars in front all got DRS on each other, as Daniele gets out right in front of Fireblaze. Meanwhile, Ivan and Stefan swapping positions, but yeah, quite early to go into the pit lane because you have the half of the race still to do on mediums. So it's an interesting decision, but the undercut might just work around here. Meanwhile, Kick, as soon as I said that he had no warnings, he has just picked up one on the last lap or 2 laps ago. So he's currently on 1, but Kevin is as well. As Kevin very slow through turn 14. I think he lifted a little bit, probably to try and avoid himself a track limit. And it's going to be interesting to see if these cars are now going to respond to Geitenkaas. Are you going to see anyone putting to pit? And yes, our race leader Kevin, he is putting into the pit lane, and he will. Let's take a look at where he comes out. As Eric and Danny also into the pit lane.
He's staying out as long as possible, king around here, because the other tyre wear around here has a massive drop-off, especially on the mini-compound tyres, so extending could be the way to go for a few more laps before we switch on to mini-compound tyres, but can they catch up? Of course, these guys, when they pit, will be last in the DRS train, as all eyes on Geitenkaas to see if he'll overtake Kevin on the main straight. Here we are there, you can see that Kevin's trundling out of the pit lane, as he has taken the lead of the Grand Prix, net lead of the Grand Prix, puts himself into P10. Is Kevin in the DRS range? Not. Yes, he is. He's still there in the DRS range, though. So despite going for another cut, Kevin's still there in P11, just about. So he does need to warm up. Here's mini compound tyres. Kick now has broken the DRS ahead of Matthias, as the pack has been split up, of course. So we will see a few breaks in the DRS train. And Lucas and Kick have stayed out there again. So let's see which one of the Williams drivers. I presume Kick will pit the next lap to respond towards Kevin and Geitenkaas in P10 and P11 then. So the pit stops are happening. Let's see who has got the right strategy. Is pitting early the way to go, or is extending and pitting later to have the tyre wear towards the end to catch up to the other people the way to go? We'll see what Kick does as he makes his way towards the final corner. Will the Williams driver peel off in the pit lane? And the answer is no, he doesn't. But here comes Matthias and here comes Eastbrand. So both Williams are extending, and let's see will the strategy work for them. And the main person to watch out for is the RB driver of Geitenkaas. He's right behind Mello the Beast in the fast speed corners, but luckily not too close to him. Here he is now, making his way towards the final corner. He has no battery whatsoever in his disposal as he uses the DRS right to the back of the Mercedes driver, as he should have overtaken him easily. He sets fast up the Grand Prix. He does. He puts himself now up into P4, gets the jump of the guys behind, and here comes Kevin. Wants to make the move immediately. He does, as he puts himself into P5. No messing around there for Kevin.
Great move to put himself ahead of the Mercedes. That was crucial for him, because the next part of the lap is quite difficult to overtake, maybe into the hairpin, but he got ahead immediately, and now he can follow Geitenkaas, as these two have now broken away from the rest of the leading group, as Eric is still 1.5 seconds behind the Mercedes, going wide as well, a bit as well. But interesting to see the two Williams drivers staying out. What you usually think around here is that if you pit early for an undercut, you will be ahead of the ones who pit later, and if you pit later, you will have to catch up, and catching up on this track is the difficult part, because when everyone is in the DRS train, it's so difficult to gain some time. So you would think that the undercut is the fastest strategy, but apparently not for the Williams drivers. Kick is now finally coming into the pit lane on lap 17, while Lucas continues on. So let's see where Kick is going to come out compared to Geitenkaas. I would assume behind Geitenkaas and Kevin with the undercut. Probably around Eric, Danny and Mathies is where we're going to see the Williams driver come out.
There was a slight yellow flag in that final sector. That was with Timmy. He made a mistake somewhere. And here comes Geitenkaas. Here comes Kevin on the back of the RP driver. The RP's defenseless, has nothing to respond with, as Kevin has boxed in. He can't overtake Geitenkaas there, as Timmy just wandered over to the left hand side. So Kick has rejoined, I presume, at the back of this DRS train. There he is. No, he hasn't rejoined at the back of it. So interestingly, he's in P8 despite staying up there for a few laps later. So he has got the tyre advantage, and he has to overtake Mercedes as quick as he can. He does, as he puts himself into P7 then. So no messing around for him. He gets past the Mercedes driver, and he's on the fresher tyres out of the slot. That could be very crucial, because having 2 or 3 laps fresher tyres is a big difference, especially in the F1 game. Matthias is down the inside, and here comes Eastbrand down the inside too of the Mercedes, and here comes Stefan around the outside of the Mercedes. So Mello the Beast has been swamped by these guys on the old hard compound tyres, as we'll see then. Geitenkaas into P2, the net race leader in P2, the man that pitted earlier in comparison to the rest of the field, as Danny is right behind Timmy, and this is so painful, being stuck behind somebody. I know what it feels like. You just want to push them out of the way, but you can't do so. It is very increasingly painful around here. And here we are then.
Ooh.
Danny puts himself into P4 as Lucas has pitted onto about the semi-nickel power tyres. We'll see where he rejoins. Tobias, how you back on, man? No, I'm joking. But here comes Lucas then, trundling down the pit lane. Let's see if he rejoins at the back of this DRS train. Miller the Beast is also in the pit lane too. Look at this, multi-car scrap going on down the turn 1. Here comes Lucas, around the outside of the Kick Sauber as he puts himself into P4. There's contact on the exit of turn 1 in the background. That's been Timmy scrapping away with Stefan, and Lucas has rejoined in P11 behind Fireblaze, and that's crucial as well because now he's at the DRS range, but will the new tyres do him good towards the end? And let me read this comment out as well. Matthias picks himself up another 3-second penalty. Indigo, learn to say the G from Haas. You could say the English H and say it in the back of your mouth. And try and scrape it in the back of your mouth. Wow. Okay. That does sound a bit wrong as well. I will scrape it in the back of my mouth.
Just a bit. But interesting to see. Fireblaze, he's in a great position. He's in P10, in the top 10. Timmy still yet to pit, of course, so he'll be in virtually P9. But the good news for him is the man behind him, Lucas. He was in that leading group. He does have the pace. So if Lucas overtakes Fireblaze, Lucas might be able to drag Fireblaze towards that leading group. So that could be an opportunity for Fireblaze to get back into a good position in this race. Meanwhile, at the front end, it's become a 2-horse fight right now. We've got 10 laps to go. Kevin and Geitenkaas, they have got 2.5 seconds towards Eric, who's now under pressure from Kick, going up the inside, and Danny coming into between the two of them. That almost didn't work out, but it did. And there's a bit of contact between himself and Eric as well. Eric getting shuffled wide as Eastbrand gets past, so Eric down to P6 now. But Kick now up into the podium places. He's got a 2.5 second gap to close towards Geitenkaas and Kevin, and Kick hasn't really got the ERS right now, as he had to use a lot trying to get past these slower guys. So let's see if he's going to be able to go close that gap. This part of the lap is where he should be quicker with the tire advantage. The gap now going down to around 2 seconds, but he's got a lot of cars following him as well. So we've got around 9.5 laps to go. Kevin and Geitenkaas currently are race leaders, but Kick is starting to close that gap.
Yes, the medical power tyres, the fresher medium paying him due diligence. Maybe Kick is hoping that Danny will trade DRS with him so he can try and get himself up towards Hakenas. Maybe Hakenas and Kevin will work together, trade DRS on the straight, slingshot each other past, and make sure they stay ahead of Kick to keep him out of DRS range as well. So maybe the top two will not fight for now, but later in this Grand Prix to keep the rest at bay and keep the battle between themselves first and second as well. So Kick in P3 does have fresher mediums, but the problem is though, Hakenas does have the DRS on the back of Kevin. As Kick has now set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Matthias is back ahead of Eric. I felt so bad for Eric because Danny puts himself into P3 ahead of Kick, then just simply walks past him with the DRS. But I think Kick will do the same thing on the next lap as well, trying to hunt down. There is 8 laps left to go. I wonder, has Lucas left it a bit too late, going for the freshest tyres towards the end as Fireblaze and Ivan are going side by side now. Fireblaze, who pitted quite early in this Grand Prix, earlier than the rest of them, is now fighting with Ivan as Matthias picks himself up, as Ruben picks himself up a 3-second penalty as Ivan does not overtake Fireblaze. And if you remember, Ivan was in the top 10. I was in the top 10 fighting to win that DRS train, but it's been split up now thanks to the pit stops. But like I said, I wonder if Lucas has left it a bit too late down there in P9. There is 8 laps left to go, and the gap to leader between him and Kevin is about 6.3. He does have the fresher tyres, but it could be a bit too late because, first of all, when he does catch up, he has to overtake these guys. So I think Lucas might have cost himself the advantage. Maybe Hakenas and Kevin pitted at the right time, but Lucas may have left it a bit too late, and he's left down there in P9. He'll get himself up the field thanks to those people with those 3-second tablets. Look at these people right to the back of Danny as well. In the final corner, Lucas will overtake him. Lucas gets a 3-second tablet, so his chances of winning are now slimmer and slimmer. And Hakenas, here comes Eastbrand as he puts himself into P3. I told you watch out for Eastbrand, but Lucas, Kick might do a switchback. He will at the exit of turn 1, going down towards turn 2, but Eastbrand just later on the brakes there puts himself back into P3. I told you to watch out for him because he always got a plan up his sleeves. He may spend the first half of the race being stuck in the DRS train, but slowly but surely he makes his way through the field and he's up into P3. Another potential podium for the man that's leading the championship in P3, then being very silent in this Grand Prix, just playing it safe, playing it steadily. But now on the medium compound tyres, he's charged to the field. He's up into P3, does not have a 3-second penalty. The top 4 do not have penalties in this Grand Prix, but Lucas does in P9, and his chances of winning now have definitely dissipated, unfortunately. And I dare say that strategy hasn't worked well either.
Indeed, so the best he will be looking for is potentially Mathies with 9 seconds, I think. So he could gain in a position or 2 if he manages to close that gap, as Evan and Ruben now going wheel to wheel through a section where you really don't want to be going side by side through. But as you said, top 4 currently without penalties. Eastbrand with a nice double overtake on the previous lap, but he will be under pressure again from Kick. So these two might work together to try and close the gap now down to 1.7, 1.8 towards the leading 2, as Kevin once again re-overtakes Geitegas. Here comes Danny with the overspeed, going to pull ahead of Eastbrand as well. So Eastbrand, he just gained 2 positions to P3, and now he's lost both of them again, and he's now down into P5. But these 3, I would say, trying to work together. The gap is now 1.6. They're slowly but surely closing the gap, but the laps, they are running out. Only 6 laps to go after this one. They need to get a move on. Kick is trying desperately to close the gap. 1.5, 1.4. He's slowly but surely eating away some time from the top 2, but they need to work together, and they don't need to fight each other, because that way they will surely not have a chance of winning this race. Kevin and Geitegas still out in front, but Kick once again closing the gap, and he's dragging Danny, Eastbrand, Mathies, Eric and Stefan along with them.
You can definitely tell the younger tyres are Kick now. It's starting to come to effect, because now the medium compound tyres get older for them. The peak performance of the medium compound tyres for Haas and Kevin are starting to fade away, and therefore Kick's younger tyres are starting to come into play as Danny cuts the corner. But shout out to Danny. Haven't really talked much about him so far, but the man started down in I think he started down in P20, did he? He started last. Yeah. He's up into P4. Wow, what a fantastic drive from Danny. He's came out of nowhere so far in this Grand Prix. He's up into 4th place. Amazing drive from him as he puts Kick under pressure going down towards turn 1, as Eric is right at the back of Mathies. Eric got bullied in the last few laps of this race, because Eastbrand, Danny and Mathies went through. Fireblaze is back ahead of Ruben, the man that won the Chinese Grand Prix, going side by side with Fireblaze, the man that's 2nd place in the championship. But Fireblaze, it's been a great recovery drive considering his circumstances in the first lap when he dropped down to 20th place due to unknown reason, whether he spun or not. And McTimmy gets himself up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Mummy Nick, we haven't really talked much about in this Grand Prix, in 17th place, puts the pressure on Mellow the Beast, but Mellow the Beast is on freshly medium compound tyres. Mummy Nick is 17th place in the Kick Sauber. He has been struggling a lot this season, as his Kick Sauber teammate is putting pressure on Kick in P3. Eastbrand is right behind too. He does not have a 3-second penalty, but Kick now is in the DRS range, and he's using a bit of battery to try and boost himself up and try and have a secure chance to get himself inside the DRS range. There is 5 laps left to go in this race. Kick has joined the battle, and once again we're seeing the DRS train started to redevelop and perform again, as Kick had to turn on the steering in turns 16 and 17 because he almost cut the corner as well, picking himself up another warning. But here we are then, as we head on to lap 25 out of 29. Kevin has been re-overtaken for the lead of the Grand Prix. Haas puts himself into 1st place, and Haas is also looking for his first win of the season. I thought he picked one up, but not yet to be. He's had many chances before, but still hasn't picked one up, has the RB driver there. So let's see, can he get his first win of the season? But we're kicking P3, hunting him down. They're both going for them. In fact, all 3 of them are going for their first win of the season. Eastbrand has won before, obviously, the championship leader in P5. So the top 3 are searching for the first win of the season. Can they get it, as Fireblaze has re-overtaken a van for P10?
This is about to spice up. We entering the final stages of this race. The entire top 7 is within DRS range of each other. Geitegas and Kevin, they have been working together so far, but Kick has managed to close the gap. 4 laps to go after this one. He's now right behind Kevin in the McLaren. He spared up some ERS as well. So has Danny, who's under pressure there from Eastbrand. Danny has done an incredible job this race from P20 all the way up to before, but unfortunately he has also got a 9-second time penalty, so he will lose out to the likes of Isbrand, Eric, Stefan and Lucas, who only got 3 seconds. So let's see if he's going to be able to hold on to such a high finishing position, but Eric also almost making contact there with Matisse. If we go into lap 26 of 29, Geitekas has built a little bit of a gap over this last lap. Danny is now right up the back of Kick, but he's not going to go over the move just yet. He knows it's all about the final lap, or at least the penultimate lap when you're in P4. You want to be in P2 or 3 going on to that final lap. So Kevin, at the moment, he has got the best seat in the house. He's got the best chances of winning this race. He's got a full battery. All he needs to do is stay behind Geitekas and stay ahead of Kick.
Easier said than done, but on the other hand, Kick could force Kevin to overtake Geitekas, and with Kick's overspeed on Geitekas and both of them, put himself into P2 and second place on the final lap of the Grand Prix. So it's all coming down towards tactics now, and it's safe to say you don't want to be first on the last lap of the Grand Prix either. Kick with his fresher tyres should have the advantage, and he's trying to save the battery in his little sector as well after using a lot of it, as Danny behind is still putting pressure. He almost had a look for Danny inside of Kick for a split second there, but obviously there is no room around here to make an overtake. But look at the speed he's carrying in his little sector. Very careful not to hit the back. He's been hit the back of Eastbound. Eastbound has tapped the back of the Kick Sauber. Luckily did not send him in a spin either. Now we're making our way towards the final corner, so Kick has got to think tactically about this. Try and keep Danny behind, force Kevin to overtake Geitekas, get the DRS off both of them, and try to overtake Geitekas to get second place. As here we are then on the main stream once again. Kick use the EOS to defend against Danny because Danny's still pressurising him. Kick might be a bit frustrated with Danny behind because Danny does have a nice second penalty. You'd be thinking, why is this guy behind me fighting so hard? But at the same time, people with penalties have nothing to lose. They just want to go for it, try and seize every single opportunity they can as well. There is 3 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Which one of the top 3 will win this Grand Prix? Is there any chance for Eastbound to win, as Danny looked down the inside, but Kick is not phased as he stays in P3 for the time being there. So Kick desperately needs to keep that Sauber behind, making sure he doesn't interrupt or interfere with his race as he challenges the top 2. Look at that, Kevin saved his battery in the middle sector, puts it into none. He saved up 100% battery as well, has Kevin. He knows the last lap attack is coming. He needs to make sure that Geitekas does not pull away in the DRS range of Kevin there. Look at this, all these guys coming through. This triple out, here we go. And so now we watch Kick is right to the back of Kevin. Timmy has picked himself up as 3 second tablets in this race. So once again, Kevin harvested. That's why Kick is all over the back of him. Going down towards the final corner we go. Let's see what happens on this main straight. Who will get ahead of who? As Kick has the DRS at the back of Kevin. Fireblade gets a penalty. Here comes Danny, but he's boxed in. He has nowhere to go as we head down towards turn 1 we go. As no changes so far, but Danny's around the outside on Kick. Can he make it stick as we head out of turn 1? Here comes Danny on the inside of Kevin, but can't quite make it stick as Kick is around the outside still. Trying to hold on to P3. Here's the plan. It's not working so far because the Sauber driver is pressurised him, but Kick stays ahead of P3. This is the final lap of the Grand Prix, and I dare say that Kevin has a big advantage now to overtake Geitekas.
And this penultimate lap is almost just as important as the final lap, as this is about positioning your car going into the final lap. And Kevin is doing everything he needs to do in order to win this race. He's still within close distance to Geitekas. He's got a full battery. He's in the best position at the moment. Geitekas, he is trying to save some ERS. He's only got 70, and he has to use a little bit as well to try and stay ahead of Kevin as Tim is retired from the session. We're nearing the final lap of this race. Kevin is right behind the V-Carb as Kick is desperately trying to save some ERS. He hasn't got a lot of it left compared to the cars around him, so he will be under threat as well from the cars behind. 1 lap to go. Kevin has got his ultimate chance of winning this race as we enter the final straight for the final time instead of the final lap of the race. But Kevin now with the DRS, is he going to get past?
Yes, he is. He puts himself into the lead of the Grand Prix. Kevin with massive overspeed with the DRS is in the lead as he planned it at the right time. He kept Kick at bay and overtook Hakaras with the DRS then, but I don't think there's no way now Hakaras or Kick can respond. I thought Kick would have been the best place in P3. Here comes Eastbrand on Danny, puts himself side by side up into P4, and Matthias gets a 3-second time penalty. I thought Eastbrand picked up that penalty because he went off the track himself, and here comes Matthias out of control in towards turn 7, did not make the move as he stays behind for the time being there. So is Kevin, who is making his debut for the first time this season, and he's done a fantastic job since qualifying, set a mega lap time despite validating on his final lap as he makes his way out of turn 8. Then I don't think there's no way now the guys behind can challenge him as he makes his way, as Heikenhaus unfortunately has been denied another victory. He's still searching for his first win of the season as Daniela picks up a 3-second time penalty. Been a disappointing race for Daniela in P13. Usually has mega pace, but not here in Qatar as he's struggling so far down in P13. But here comes Kevin and look at Kick trying to go around the outside of the final corner, but he can't quite do it. Kevin, he's going to be so close as they're wheel to wheel, and Kick is up into P2. Kevin has won the Qatar Grand Prix, and Kick has just beaten Heikenhaus for P2. Stefan is P7, Lucas P6, and Danny is up into P8 ahead of Matthias, as that was a fantastic race as Kevin, who started on pole. No, he didn't. He started in P2 and finished in first place. Kick started on pole, demoted into P2, and it was so close as well. Heikenhaus has missed out by 600 of a second there. Still searching for his first win. So is Kick, but Kevin, on his debut for the first time this season, has done a fantastic job to win this Grand Prix under such intense pressure. And I'll be very happy with that one indeed. With McLaren driver planned his overtakes at the right time in the right place. He managed to keep Kick back as well, and overtook Heikenhaus with the DRS, swooped past him, going down towards turn 1, and that was incredible tactics indeed. So fantastic, congratulations towards Kevin. I thought Kick, with the fresher medium compound tyres, had the advantage, but maybe Danny was the one that interrupted his chances of winning the Grand Prix after putting him under so much pressure as well, as Kick was forced to defend against Danny. But yeah, well done today for Kevin, who did a fantastic job winning, and he'll be very happy with that one indeed, as Kick second place in the Williams as well, still searching for his first win after the championship champion of last season, still going for his first win as Lucas has picked up. But it's been a disappointing one for Lucas. Pitted too late and unfortunately stuck at the back of the DRS train, and nothing can do about it, of course. But we now watch our podium. We now watch our entering the podium, spray the champagne, play the national anthem, as now we go towards the results then. So it is Kevin who wins ahead of Kick in P2, Heikenhaus in P3, Eastbrand from P4, Eric in P5 ahead of Lucas. Eric has been in P5, P6 majority of this Grand Prix, been stuck around the area. Stefan in P7, Danny in P8 ahead of Matthias. Fireblaze in P10, finished where he started, but of course fell down to last place after that first lap contact. Ivan P11 ahead of Reiki Yu. TVH NL P13 ahead of Daniela. Ruben P15. Unfortunate for Ruben. I expected more, especially after winning the Chinese Grand Prix. Mummy Nick in P16 ahead of Men of the Beast. Look at that. A lot of people picked up penalties. The top 4 didn't, and also Mummy Nick didn't either. So well done to Mummy Nick there for not picking up penalties. As Men of the Beast 17, Fraser is 18, but Timmy 19th. A pathetic job with a DNF. Unfortunate for him. 2 DNFs, in fact, one DNF in this race, which is Yob in P20.
That was such a great race to watch from start to finish. Incredibly close between the top half of the field, and well done to Kevin. He played that to perfection on the final lap. Took his chance, went for it, took the lead of the race, and he didn't give it away on the final lap to secure his first win of the season on debut. Incredible job from him. Kick missing out to a win, but he did win out on second place, just coming out of the final corner with the switchback. Well done to him as well. But that was a great race to watch. Such exciting battles all the way through. We absolutely love to see it.
You do indeed. We absolutely do love to see it, and I cannot wait for the next race as well. It's going to be an absolute thrilling and entertaining one. As always, I struggle to find the calendar, so in fact, I found it. So the next race, the next race will be an interesting one, of course, because the next race will be a mystery calendar, so we have no idea what the track is. And let's talk about the mystery calendar because I do a league race, and for the first time ever, we had a mystery race as well. And I got told I had to give my opinion about it. What I said was it's fantastic and entertaining for the viewers because we don't know who will end up where because the drivers won't do any practice for the mystery race because obviously they don't know what the track is. But from a driver's point of view, they don't like it because they want to do some practice, lay the foundations and get the practice in and know the setup, etc. So when we enter qualifying, that'll be their practice session. Q1 could potentially be their practice session and after learn the track as quick as they can. Try and adjust the track or adjust the setup as quickly as they can through Q1 and Q2. So a mystery track for me, whoever can adapt the quickest and the fastest as well to any circumstance or situation will be the quickest one as well because people like me don't adapt very quickly and it takes a lot of time to learn a track as well. So whoever can learn the track quickest will probably be up there as well. What's your opinion, Milan?
Well, I might just be an exception to that because I don't usually practice a lot for races. Usually find myself coloring my setup while loading into qualifying. So for me, it's actually a good thing because that will put the drivers on a disadvantage, and I'm just doing my usual business, which not practicing for races. So I like the idea, but I understand for other drivers that it's not as much as a good idea because there are a lot of drivers who want to practice for races. They want to prepare themselves for the race, and when qualifying is your practice, it can be quite tricky. It might also just explain why I'm not that great at qualifying because it is usually my practice. So yeah, two sides of the story, but I'm a fan of it. The spectators, of course, it's always interesting to look at, exciting to look at. But from a driver's perspective, it can be tricky. For me, not as much so, but I understand why others prefer to have the track known before they go into it.
Indeed. So we'll round off here then. This is the Qatar Grand Prix, and I promise you guys I will not fall asleep. And hopefully, me and Milan will be back on time with the stream up and running in Q1 as well. So apologies about last week and this week as well. I promise I won't fall asleep. And commentating, of course, is something I love doing. No matter where it is or what league it is, I always love commentating. So it is a bit frustrating for me because I'm not characteristically, I'm not that late either. Or I'm never late, but for some reason in the last few weeks I've been slacking in my opinion. So yeah, I've been letting you guys down, but I will be back. I will be back, and I'll set alarms. I did set an alarm, but for some reason it didn't go off today. So I have to investigate why that did go off because I came home from work very tired, and so I thought to myself, right, let me go to sleep for a bit. Set my alarm. Woke up. It was 6:18. I'm like, oh my goodness me, I'm missing it. So I had to rush in here. Obviously, when I rush in here, I start to lose my momentum as well, and I start to like panic and everything. So yeah, that's why that's why the start of the stream wasn't really that great because I started panicking, etc. So don't worry, hopefully we're back. And Milan, Dog Kival, thank you so much.
Thank you as well. I loved commentating alongside you. You know it, and today was no different. And too many to come. And I'm excited to be back next week for the mystery.
Yeah, me too. So join me and Milan back for the mystery race for round 8 next week. Join us back at 6 o'clock UK time. We'll see you all later. Have a goodbye for now. Have a good weekend and take care. Happy Valentine's Day as well for those people who are taken. Unfortunately, not like us.
True. But yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next time.